The Son Who Carried Everyone. The village of Umuoke sat quietly between wide stretches of red earth and tired cassava farms. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, and where hope was usually measured by how much rain the season brought. In a small mud house at the edge of the village lived a boy named Tunde. Tunde was not the strongest boy in the village. He was not the loudest either. But everyone knew one thing about him. He studied harder than anyone else. Every morning before sunrise, while other children still slept under mosquito nets, Tunde would already be awake, reading his worn school books by the dim light of a kerosene lamp. His mother, Mama Sade, often watched him quietly from the doorway. "One day," she would say proudly to the neighbors, "my son will change the story of this family." His father believed it too. Whenever visitors came, he would point at Tunde and say, that one will carry us all." Those words stayed in Tunde's heart, so he worked. He walked 6 kilometers to school every day. He studied late into the night. Sometimes he skipped meals so his younger siblings could eat. Years passed, and one day the entire village gathered at the small community hall, because Tunde had done something no one in his family had ever done before. He had graduated from university. The celebration was loud and joyful. Women danced. Men slapped his back proudly. Relatives who had barely spoken to him before suddenly claimed him as their own. "Our son has made it," they shouted. But Tunde knew something they did not. Graduating was only the beginning. The real struggle was just starting. Months later, Tunde found a job in the city. It wasn't glamorous, but compared to village life, it felt like success. He rented a small one-room apartment and started sending money home every month. The first time he sent money, his mother cried on the phone. "God bless you, my son," she said. That moment made everything worth it. Soon he paid for his younger brother Kunle's school fees. Then he helped his sister Amina enroll in college. Then his father called. "The roof is leaking badly," his father said. "If we can fix the house, it will help your mother." Tunde sent the money. Helping them made him feel proud. For the first time, his family could breathe. But slowly. The phone calls began changing. One evening, his uncle called. "Tunde, my son, I heard you're doing well in the city. I just need a small help to start a business." Another cousin called weeks later. "Brother, my landlord is threatening to throw me out. Please help me this once." Then another, and another. Soon, Tunde noticed something strange. Every phone call was about money. Not once did anyone call just to ask how he was doing, but he kept helping, because that was what he had always believed his success was for: to carry the family. Years passed, and something began to change. His younger brother Kunle stopped taking school seriously. Whenever Tunde warned him, Kunle laughed. "Relax, big brother," he said. "You're already successful. You'll take care of us." His cousins stopped trying to find jobs. They simply waited for the next transfer. But the worst moment came one evening during a phone call with his mother. "My son," she said gently, "your aunt promised the family you would help pay for your cousin's wedding." Tunde froze. "I never agreed to that." "I know," his mother replied quietly, "but they already told everyone." Tunde stared at the ceiling of his small apartment. He was working harder than ever, yet somehow he still had nothing. No savings, no investments, no future. Everything he earned flowed out like water. Then, one night, something happened that changed everything. Tunde sat down to check his bank account. After paying bills and sending money home, he realized something terrifying. He had less than $20 left. That was when the phone rang again. It was another relative asking for help for the first time in his life. Tunde said no. Silence filled the call. Then the voice turned cold. "So you have forgotten where you came from?" The next few weeks were worse. Relatives began whispering. They called him selfish. They said success had changed him. Even his brother stopped answering his calls, but Tunde stood firm. For the first time, he began saving money for himself. Slowly, his life started stabilizing. Then tragedy struck. The company he worked for suddenly shut down. Overnight, Tunde lost his job. He called home hoping for comfort, but the response was colder than he expected. "Well," one relative said bluntly, "maybe if you helped the family more, God would have protected your job." Those words cut deep. For the first time, Tunde understood something painful. They didn't see him as a son. They saw him as a wallet. Months later, Tunde struggled to survive in the city. He took small freelance jobs. He reduced his expenses. He fought quietly to rebuild his life. During that time, the phone stopped ringing. No one called anymore. Until one evening, his mother called again. Her voice sounded different, gentler. "Tunde," she said softly, "I want to apologize." He said nothing. "We put too much on your shoulders. We forgot you are also someone's child, not just the one carrying everyone." For the first time in months, Tunde felt something inside him soften. Then his mother said something surprising. "Your brother Kunle has started working now. He said he doesn't want to depend on you anymore." Something had changed. Without Tunde's constant support, the family had finally begun standing on their own feet. Years later, Tunde returned to the village. The house roof was fixed. His siblings were working. The family gathered to welcome him home. But this time, something felt different. The expectations were gone, and for the first time in his life, Tunde wasn't carrying everyone anymore. He was simply part of the family.